Welcome to another top pick based on originality, condition, and price. Today's feature car is a 1971 Mercury Cyclone GT. You definitely don't see this car around anymore. My name is Rob Lofarice. You're watching Daily Car Buys. Let's go check this car out. I found this car in Chicago today on Craigslist. For some reason, I was in Chicago a lot today. It's a 1971 Mercury Cyclone GT. It's a 350 cubic inch Cleveland V8 engine, automatic transmission. The seller's asking $28,000 and it's north of Chicago. The fourth generation Cyclone lasted just two short model years, 70 and 71, and they featured the 351 Cleveland V8 engine and the optional 429 cubic inch engine. It came in three body styles: the base, the GT, and the spoiler trim. The spoiler trim was the more high performance level. The GT is the car that we're featuring here. The Super Cobra Jet and the drag pack that they had back in prior to 71 model year was discontinued, but a lot of people in those days made these hood scoops functional and went to the parts bin and bought the air intake to make it, when you open up the engine, it looks like ram air. Of course it is, but the engine, the ram air engine, was specifically tuned for fresh air and gave you a little bit more horsepower than a non-ram air engine. But this car does not have ram air, so it has a 351 Cleveland engine. And the GT level was more about style and a little bit of luxury than it is, high performance. Let's get into the ad and see if we can just talk about the ad for a sec. The person that's selling this car appears to be an individual because he has a regular plate on the car, so I'm hoping that it is an individual. He provides a nice disclosure and things, that all the things he's did to the car. He says the car was an original Texas car, so that's pretty cool. So that normally means it's dry and there's no rust on it. But he did do a lot of things to the car, and you can get into that when you look at the actual ad. He says the air conditioning condenser is missing. He's not sure if the original radio works, but he does have it. And he says the car is a nice driver and it needs some TLC. So someone says $28,000 and then says the car needs TLC. That always kind of like throws up a red flag a little bit. But let's go into the actual ad and look at the car. We'll save the engine for last. Let's take the body first. On the walk around on the body, I don't see anything that makes it look like it's in poor shape. The only thing that comes across is that the hood is mismatched with the fender. And, the alignment back in those days wasn't the best, but it certainly didn't have gaps like that. So there's potential this car may have had for some front damage at one time, or it just isn't aligned properly and it didn't bother anybody. But that certainly is something that you have to find out, why that hood has such poor alignment to it. But look at that front grille and how beautiful that was. That was just for two model years. The headlights are recessed just like a Lincoln Mark III or any luxury car. They're all vacuum operated. So a lot of times these doors don't stay in the closed position when the engine's off. And then you have to chase the vacuum leak inside the engine bay. But look at that beautiful front grille and the inboard center directional lights here, and that beautiful GT insignia in the center of the grille work. It's very pretty. The Cyclone was available before this body style was on the Comet, so the Cyclone name was used exclusively with Mercury line to definitely distinguishes the cars to be performance driven. But again, this GT is more about individual style and somewhat luxury than it is high performance. But there's that hood scoop. If you wanted to, you can make that hood scoop a functional ram air setup by removing the inner plate, and you can probably buy the air cleaners that made up to this hood when it closes if you wanted to do something like that. I'm not sure what TLC means except for air conditioning. He says the air conditioning needs to be installed. But I'm thinking the quarter panels and all that look very original. Of course, the car had to be repainted at one time, and we'll see if there's any telltales of that. But again, Illinois plate in the back, dual exhaust, nice wing. That's the original wing that they had back in those days as well. The interior looks really nice. That really what focused me a lot on this car, how beautiful the interior is. The dashboard is very pretty. If you see those four gauges, they're tilted for the driver. It's kind of unique look. There's that beautiful 4 gauges there with the tachometer staring right at you. I think that's so beautiful. So some of the things on this car really warrant the $28,000. But again, I can see a little overspray here at the bottom corner. Right there, you can see some yellow or whatever color that is. And so the car was probably repainted, of course. But otherwise, the car looks really nice. New carpets, I'm sure. I'm thinking all these wheel cover, the vinyl covers are all new. Beautiful center console. Trunk looks really nice. Again, we don't know what's underneath that mat, but we're going to assume it's somewhat rust-free. The engine bay looks a little tired, and this may be where he talks about needs TLC. He did do a braking system, a new master cylinder. So again, the air conditioning is not working. Components are removed from it. So, air conditioning is not that important on a car like this, but depending where you live, you may want to get that working properly. Looks like you put a new radiator in, mini little air cleaner, which is what people did back in the old days. But you'd probably want to source a new air cleaner. So some of the TLC might be involved in an engine rebuild at this point in time, because this bay looks to be very original. And again, if you change the master cylinder, you might have to do some work to the engine. It's not a difficult engine to restore or rebuild. It's not expensive either. There's the headlight. See, the headlight covers are in the up position there. That means there's a vacuum leak going on somewhere with the car. Some documentation about the car, so that's not bad. And again, overall, the car has a nice stance and all. So on the pricing side, what I had said here in my write-up is that, we have to consider that, the GT package was more about style than anything performance. And this feature car is like discovering a Le Mans versus a GTO. So if this Cyclone GT was a Cyclone spoiler with a 429 cubic inch engine and a 4-speed transmission, you'll probably be up there at $65,000, $70,000, right? So this car is $28,000. Thinking the car is worth between $23,000 and $25,000, once seen in person. So you have to consider this like buying a Le Mans, not buying the GTO version. But it's a really nice car. And remember, back in '71, the Mercury showroom, that same year this car was in the showroom, the Pantera made its way into the Mercury showroom too. So it was high performance times for the Mercury line back then. But that wraps up this top pick today. To get more information on this car, please visit our Facebook page by going on our Facebook channel, by clicking this link here. That'll take you right to Facebook. Please share this YouTube channel with friends that love cars. We renamed the channel tonight from Daily Classics to Daily Car Buys to extend it out to classics and drivers from 1960s, mostly from 1960 to 2006, 2007, and such. So thank you very much for your support of this channel. We look forward to grow this channel and get more subscribers. Do a live Q&A too. That's coming up in the month of March, April, and look forward to talking to you then. Thanks again for your support. See you again real soon on another top pick. Have a good night.